Hi there, my name is Richard Pady and I'm the head coach of Healthy Results Training. This week we're going to look at the essence of flow. Flow is that ability to get that mind and body to work together so that the experience on race day is one of a lot of work, but that it flows out in an effortless manner. And it's a combination of both being physically ready but also mentally prepared and decreasing that amount of stress to allow you to have that excellent performance that you've been striving for. Too often we spend much of our time really focusing in on the hours that we train, what happens within each workout. We look at the gear that we're using, we work on efficiency, we work on setup, and we prepare ourselves, we study courses, and we get ourselves completely ready. But are we doing everything we possibly can? And what are those things that can allow us to have this experience that is, in essence, that state of consciousness where really we are just effortlessly going through the motions and it just comes with ease. Now, some of the things I'm going to explain to you today sound very easy, but if it was so easy, why don't we do it every time? And let's look at what are the reasons why maybe we actually sabotage our own selves going into competition. What I want you to grasp from this video is I want you to know the pitfalls that you might be falling into in these last few races of the summer, and also some of the things you can do in your preparation to get ready for your next big race. Sports psychologists all around the world are studying what is it from the mental and physical aspect that we can take together to allow athletes to reach this peak performance. And in that pursuit of excellence, what are the characteristics that are needed to allow these athletes to go to what is now called this altered state, this state of being where time starts to slow down or speeds up depending on your sport. And really you go into what we've heard of as tunnel vision. And that pain no longer is something that is negative, but is almost something that you draw upon as a positive experience. So before we get into these 8 characteristics, I want to do one small project with you. First, I want you to think about the best race that you have ever been in. And I want you to think, if you don't have a race you can really think of, I want you to think about what was one of the best training days you've ever been out on. Do you got a picture of that? Now what I want you to do is I want you to think also about what was going on in your life. Can you remember what was happening in your life at that time when, previous or pre to that workout? What was your diet like, if you can remember? What things did you do differently that day? Maybe there might be something specific. So if you've got that picture in your head, now let's go to the next thing. What was the worst race you've ever had? And let's also look at what maybe the worst training day you can think of and remember. What were some of the things that might have caused that? What happened to you previous to that workout or to that race? What was your psyche going into the race? I want you to take these ideas or these images that you have in your head right now and carry them along with you as we talk about these 8 characteristics that are so important for trying to find, and I'm going to stress that, trying to find that state of flow or that pursuit of excellence in their performance. All right? Keep hold of that and we'll come right back. So scientists have come up with these 8 characteristics that truly do define what is needed or what we see in athletes that are able to hit again and again peak performance or what we're calling flow. So the first thing is the athlete must perceive the challenge that are laid out in front, whether that be going into the competition or going into a workout. They have to perceive that challenge as non-demanding in a fearful way, that they have the skill sets and they have the ability to reach the demand that is being thrown on them. As soon as someone feels that they do not have the skill or the ability to reach that goal, you will never reach that state of peak performance or flow. You need to be at the skill set or the level of the competition that you want to get into and achieve at. You want to see that merging of actions. So you want to see the merging of actions and awareness. So what that means is when you're out there, you want the awareness of what it is you need to do. Put one arm in front of the other and all those other things on the bike, pedaling in a good circle, keeping that aero position, taking in your nutrition. All these things are the actions that you need to do to finish your triathlon. But at the same time, you want to have that. You want that awareness of what you need to do and being aware of what's around you and the roads ahead and all that kind of stuff. You want the two of them to sort of come together so that they flow really well together, so that they're not fighting. You're not fighting what's around you at the same time as you're not fighting the actions that you need to be doing. Again, this is building on the first premise of that you need to have those skill sets. Again, these are all sort of combined. The next one is clearly defined goals. I mean, we say this all the time as coaches, you have to have clearly defined goals. But it amazes me the amount of people that put goals on themselves that are not very clearly defined, but also are way out of their skill set. And so the combination of those two elements can definitely push you towards failure. The next is a total focus. If you meet any great athlete that achieves again and again and again personal best performances, you will see that they are totally focused, whether it is towards their training or whether it is towards their prep for any race, whether it be a local little race or whether it be a major world championships. They go to it with total focus. They have that sense of control. At no time do they panic. Having that feeling of control could be one of the greatest elements that needs to be in existence for an athlete to really reach that peak performance. Athletes comment all the time about a loss of self-consciousness. They actually think that they can't actually remember back into the performance and see what actually happened. They can't break it down step by step. It kind of all goes together, kind of like a dream afterwards. So when you ask a client, how did it go? They can't actually break it down step by step. They only kind of see it all as one. And that goes along with the next one, time distortion. Time distortion is really interesting. Athletes that are in shorter events or speed element events like tennis or sprinting will tell you time slows down. For the tennis player, they see the ball more clearly because everything is happening slowly. For more of the half iron distance or iron distance triathlete or even Olympic distance triathlete, they're going to say that time distortion, it actually speeds up, that the time goes by, that 8 hours just goes by like it was just a few seconds. So they're interesting time distortions depending on the type of sport that you're participating in. And one of the biggest things is why you are competing, why you are training. It needs to be motivated through an intrinsic, meaning within you. Within you, motivation has got to be there, not the extrinsic. So we do not want rewards or cash or prestige or something like that to be your motivator. Quite often, an extrinsic motivator can actually help a little bit to yield on performance, but without that intrinsic motor, you will never reach that peak performance. So if we look at a great Olympic athlete or something like that, they are intrinsically motivated. They want to compete. They want to be the best and the best that they can be. Yes, a gold medal and maybe the money that comes after that could be a factor for them, but it can't be the true motivation that they're at. If they are, quite often those athletes never reach. When it is more about their ego than just the pride of being the best that they can possibly be, quite often see an athlete fall short of their true potential. So those are the 8 characteristics that you need to see in your own performance to really go towards reaching flow. So it's really important that we take all these different aspects that I've told you about in creating that mental plan so that you can get ready for that next race and put them together so that you can go out and have the most amazing race or even workout. Remember, you have to have that confidence of the skills and the challenges that lay ahead of you. You need to have an action plan to deal with the situations that may change around you. You need to have the ability of control and that sense of control throughout all of the competition. You need to allow things to happen. Don't want things to happen. Allow things to happen. And remember, most importantly, just relax and have fun. Stress is the #1 reason why people do not succeed in the challenges and the goals that they go after. Stress is the #1 killer of peak performance. So if anything, in these last 8 to 9 minutes, if this is the only thing you remember, keep the stress low. And if you think about it, that has to do with everything we just talked about. From me and from everyone on my team, thank you so much for listening. Look forward to seeing you out at the races, and all the best.